Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrisham Meghabharnam Shubhangam Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam Yogibhi Dhyanagamyam Bande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokaika Natham. Today our topic is very interesting, and that is Samudra Manthan, the churning of the ocean. But you all know that how this, very recently in India, almost so many months it was continuing, all people were going to take a deep, thinking that they will get at least a drop of that Amrit, the divine nectar. By drinking that they will be eternal. So that is the idea. That is the greatest and the wonderful. So many hundreds and thousands of celebrations are there in the Hindu religion. But this is the biggest and the best. And they always say very proudly, the greatest show on the earth. Now we will discuss about that. But before that, let us try to know who is this Vishnu that the Brahma is praying. Ajata Janma Sthiti. The very first word that he is using about the Vishnu, the God. Ajata Janma Sthiti Sanyama Maya Gunaya Nirvana Sukha Arnavaya. Anuru Nimne Apari Ganya Dhamne Moha Anubhavaya Namo Namaste. This is the 8th book, 6th chapter and 8th verse of the Bhagavatam. And it says this, O the great being, you are free from birth, existence and destruction. So we have to understand again and again that the Hindus, though they are worshipping hundreds and thousands of gods and goddesses, ultimately they go to that one. And that from that one, everything has come. So this first one is how it is. It never take birth, it never exists in that way, and it never die. So that is Janma, Mrityu and Sthiti. The birth and continuation of the life and death. We are doing that. It is our life. We take birth, we stay for some time and then we die. But the God never does like that. And it says that you are the ocean of bliss. You are the subtler of the subtlest. Again, your forms are unlimited. Your greatness is unthinkable. I offer my salutation again and again. Namo Namaha. Now we find that the description of the Supreme Being, it goes in a very excellent way. Everywhere you will find. First, it will say negative. You are not this, you are not this. And again it will say positive, you are this, you are this, giving them idea. Anoraniyan, Mahato Mahiyan, Atmasya Yanto Nita Guhaya. In the Upanishad, we are reading the Bhagavatam, the book of love, book of devotion. But the same words, same expression, same idea. So why unnecessarily we fight? Because of our ego. Among the Hindus, if you go, those who are following the path of devotion, they will all the time criticize those who are following the path of knowledge. Oh, those people, egoistic people, they will always say like that. Why? Because you don't understand properly. So scripture reading is very, very essential. And when we are reading, we should be completely free from any particular ideology of the sect. This is important. And that is exactly what Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna did. He followed all paths, devotion, then Tantra, then Vedanta, and then he said all are leading to the same goal. And when we read the scripture, we also find like that. In the Bhagavad Gita, which is also the book of knowledge, the path of knowledge, those who are following, they read Bhagavad Gita, Vedantic book. And what it says, Na jayate mriyate va kadachit. Now I am presenting for you the two different scripture. One, the scripture of the devotion, another, the scripture of knowledge. And what they are describing? The Supreme Lord. How they are describing? Na jayate mriyate va kadachin. Ajo nitya shashatoyam purana nahanyate hanyamane sharire. So this we find unborn, eternal, constant and ancient. In the Bhagavata also it says, you never take birth and you don't have any existence and never die, no destruction. You are free from that. And what is that? Changes. Birth, existence and death is a changes. God can never have any change. Anything that is changing is surely for the destruction. It has a limitation. So this is how we understand the Supreme Being. While invoking the divine grace, the Brahma, he was telling, Tvam Mayaya Atma Astrayaya Saedam Nirmaya Bisham Tad Anupravishta. I will request you to understand this line. He said, O great being, through your cosmic power Maya, you have created this universal existence, this universe, and entered into this creation. Who said this? Bhagavata. Again we find that same thing in the Taittiriya Upanishad. It says, so akamayata, so means that Supreme Being, akamayata, it desired, wished, Bahushyam praja eti. Let me be many. Bahushyama, many. Bahu means many. Shyama praja eti. Let me be born. And by telling that, tat srishtva, immediately the moment it thought, that, it is not he or she. There is the supreme consciousness. The moment it thought, there was a creation, and then tat srishtva, after creation, tadeva anupravishat, tadeva anupravishat, as if entered into that. And in the Bhagavata, tad anupravishta, in the Upanishad, anupravishat, he created and he entered into it. And creation means, and we see so many different type of creation. There, jada is also there, inert. But still, so many things are happening. This is our body. It's a wonderful creation. So many things are there in this body. But if that particular thing which is called life or the self is not there, it is of no use. Then they will throw it. So this is the way we have to understand our personality as having two. One consciousness, another unconscious. Both are together. That same way the God created the inert and gave the consciousness into it. This body, the mind and intellect, everything is inert. And God entered into it, gave the life in it. And so it is so beautiful, useful, enjoyable. So that is exactly what the creation is. He created, then anupravishat. How? Then in the Vedanta it says, the Supreme Being, He created first Prakriti. Prakriti can be translated as nature or the Maya. And this Maya, through that comes Mahat. What is that Mahat? Mahat is also known as Vishamana. Vishamana means universal mind. Look at this. Mind is as if conscious. Mind as if conscious. I am thinking, cognizing, analyzing, accepting, rejecting. Who is doing it? My mind. And naturally I can feel that this is living. My hand cannot think. My other body parts cannot think. Mind can think. And it takes the decision. The one who takes the decision is the master. So mind is the master of this whole personality, the being, the body, mind complex. This mind, what is that? Individual mind. And there is a Vishamana. Vishamana means Mahat. And this is the universal mind, sum total of all minds there. And from there, that sum total of mind comes down Buddhi first, intellect. Then Mana, the mind, the other capacities. Then the objects and also the Indriyas. Now those who are producing the cars, the vehicles, they will also try to impress the government to make the roads. And not only that, they will try to see that people are having the economical power to purchase that vehicle. Otherwise, why unnecessarily they will produce it? We have to enjoy. There should be somebody who should purchase the vehicle and to drive it, and to drive that we need roads. Now beautiful cars are there, but no roads. What will happen? We'll have to drag the car in the bullock cart, at the back of the bullock cart. It cannot be. Similarly, the God is creating, and creating what? Intellect. And what the intellect will do? Enjoy. What it will enjoy? Objects. And what are the objects? Rupa, Rasa, Sabda, Sparsha, Gandha. This is the wonderful analysis of the Hindu mind. They are all the time analyzing in this way. Rupa, the form, the smell, the taste, all these are, we have to enjoy. How it will enjoy? So it has created a different type of machines also. Chakshu, Karna, Nashika, Jiva and Tak. The eye, the nose, the ear, the tongue and the skin, so that we can touch, we can understand, we can enjoy. So these 5 objects, they are collected through 5 different senses, and then it is given to the mind. Mind is sending for the analysis, and who is analyzing it? Buddhi, the intellect. And he said, this is not good thing, don't go over there. This is dangerous, don't go over there. Things goes in this way. So this is how And in the Kathopanishad also, the same way as the Upanishad say, the Kathopanishad, these are all the revelations in the minds of the rishis, and these are the truths. They didn't write it only simply, but they revealed it. And what they say? Agnir yatuko bhuvanam pravishta rupam rupam pratirupa babhuva ekastatha sarva bhutantaratma rupam rupam pratirupa bahishcha. Now he's giving an example. If the fire is burning a chair, it will take the form of a chair. When it is burning a house, it will take the form of a house. The fire has no form, but whenever it is burning, it takes the form of that particular thing, pratirupa bhavuscha. And similarly, you, the God, the Supreme, the intellect, you entered into different being and taking that form. And this is very interesting. The same God is entering into a bad person and also a good person, in an ugly the person and a beautiful person, and same way it goes, like the fire. Fire has nothing to do. It's only taking the shape of that particular thing which it is burning. And the God is also. By saying this, we will go slowly to the churning of the ocean. That is the subject that we are going to discuss about it. But before that, I should remind you, the Hinduism is full of mythology, stories, mixed with history, but at the back of it, there is a truth of spirituality. So they always say in a two different way. One word will always have two different meanings. So we will study that. The Brahma is telling to that Supreme Being, see, I, the Brahma, and the Shiva, and other gods, also the Prajapatis, the rulers, maintaining a separate existence from you as sparks from the fire. From here, Vishishta Advaita, another philosophy of the Hindus, that took shape. Taking the clue from here, we are the sparks. We are fire, of course, generated from the fire, but separated from the fire. That is the Vishishta Advaita. Just I won't go to that philosophy, but you know that in Hindus they are having Dvaita, Vishishta Advaita, and Pure Advaita. These three. Vishishta Advaita, here the Brahma said, O God, O Supreme Being, we means I, the Brahma, the Shiva, the gods, and also the Prajapatis, the rulers, we are all maintaining little separation from you as the sparks from the fire. We are the same. We are coming out of you, but we are little separate. Now, we don't have the power to understand you. What power of understanding can we expect from us? Therefore, please instruct us what will be good for the world, the Devas and the holy people. Now it is the prayer. Please instruct us. Vidhatsva shamno. Tell us clearly. Instruct us. You know, sometimes we don't believe the God is giving the instruction, how it is possible. But it has happened in the lives of so many. If you read the biography of Swami Vivekananda, he was instructed. And that way he worked. And there was Swami Premanandaji. He was supposed to go to Bangladesh. People have already come, the program was fixed. They came to receive him. In those days they used to go by boat, the country boat from the Ganga and other rivers. So boat was ready. Premanandaji went into the shrine in the Belur Math. If you go, many of you have seen, it's called Old Shrine. That was the original shrine. He went to offer pranam, as we always do before leaving for some place. We come and pay our respect and we say to Thakur, we are going to that place. So So like that he came to say, and what happened? He was having the conversation with the God and came down and said, no, he is telling not to go this time. I am cancelling the program. Can you imagine? But it happens. And happens to whom? The pure mind. The mind which is not having any other thoughts. So it reveals. And the Brahma, the purest person, he is praying to that supreme being. Bidhatsva Shamno. No means us. The please instruct us. Now the great Shuka, he was describing all those celestials being, then heard a voice as deep as the thunder. And it says, go and churn the ocean. They heard it. Among hundreds of this religious celebration that we find, you know that very wonderfully, the Bangkok Airport, if you go, this time I visited and I have written that travelogue over there in our recent magazine, Chicago Calling, is in. And there, with pictures I have given, you will see how wonderfully they have sculpture giving that idea of the churning of the ocean. And it says in the Bangkok, it's called the Subarna Bhumi Airport. And the Supreme Lord, he said, and he instructed the Devas to take the help of their stepbrothers, Ashuras. And again, the little story we have to go. And the Deva and Ashura, how it happened? The father was the Rishi Kashyapa. The Kashyap Rishi. Many of you are having Kashyap Gatra. How many of you are having Kashyap Gatra? See, so many Kashyap Gatra. This, you are coming from that Rishi. The Kashyap Gatra. The Rishi, from every Rishi we were instructed, some one of us, and that is coming down. So that Kashyap Rishi, he was having two wives. One is Diti, another is Aditi. Aditi and Aditi. This Diti was a different temperament, and she was very much attached to the body. The Rishi told again and again that you should not behave like this, but she won't listen. In those days, the women were completely free. Whatever they wanted, whatever they demanded, a man was supposed to, whoever he may be, a king or a rishi, was supposed to fulfill. That because of that, the deity, she demanded that her husband should come to her, and it was not the proper time, etc. And her children became Ashuras. The rishi warned her, but again, she told, no, you must. So that is the reason the Diti was the mother of the Ashuras. Who are the Ashuras? Their mind was not very clear. Their all consciousness was attached to the body, very egoistic. That is Ashura. And the other wife, Aditi, her children was known as Shura. So the Supreme God telling them, take the help of your stepbrothers, because you alone won't be able to do. Now there's a huge thing that is going to take form. Then the Supreme God said, Sahayena Maya Deva. Both you, both the brothers, Shura and Ashura, you should churn. Then you should take my help, otherwise you are not going to be successful. Friends, this is the main thing. Here comes the great debate. Always the people will debate on Dvaiva and Purushakara. The two Sanskrit words. He says the God's grace or the self-effort. Which is best and which one should do? Some people, they say self-effort. The Vedantin, they always say self-effort. Swami Vivekananda sometimes, he is a Vedantin, but understanding the minds of the ordinary people, he used to say pray to God and all. And sometimes he is expressing that view. He said, I am praying to the Mother Kali to help me to perform this work. And if she doesn't, I don't bother, I will do it. So that is called Purushakara, tremendous mental power. Will never blame anyone. Success or blame, everything he is. He stands on his own. So that is called the Purushakara, Purusha Akara. That means the self-effort. But another is grace. The debate is always there. What we should do? Shall we take the help of God, or we should also try ourselves? There is one sloka in the Upanishad, a same sloka in the Mundaka Upanishad and also Katha Upanishad. It says, Yame Vaishe Brinuti Tena Labhya. The different explanations are there. It says that when your mind is intent to understand the subtlest of the subtle, that Brahman, then you get the grace. And sometimes it is explained in this way, if the Atman is blessing you, then only you will get the knowledge of Atman, otherwise not. And Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is telling the ordinary people all the time, try to depend on God. Why? Because we don't have that strength of mind like Swami Vivekananda. Putting aside the goddess Kali, I don't need her help, like that. How many of us can do that? Egoistically we can say, but in the truest sense we won't be. So that is the reason Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, no, you have to pray. Krishna also, long before Sri Ramakrishna, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, of course Krishna didn't say, but it was concluded by the Sanjaya, the great mind, and the 700th verse, the last verse of the Bhagavad Gita, it says, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanuddhara. The two way he is explaining, God should be there, His grace, and the effort of the human being also should be there. So two when combining, Tatra, there, Sri, Vijaya, Bhuti, Dhruvani, Timatir Mama. So this way it goes, wherever there is Krishna, the Lord of Yoga, not only Krishna playing the flutes, not that, the Lord of Yoga, Yogeshwara, and where the Partha, the human, but he is fighting, builder of the bow. So that bow and arrow he has taken up to fight. So that Partha, there are prosperity, victory, expansion, and sound policy. Dhruva Niti, sound policy. That is the best policy, according to me, the Sanjaya said. But here we find the Supreme Being is telling that you have to take my help. And it begins like this. Amrito utpadane yatna kriyatam avilambitatam. Without any bilamba, without any delay, bilamba means delay. Without any delay, you should start the process. What is the process? Amrita utpadane. To achieve that immortal bliss, you must try. Do not delay in arranging the process. Which ocean to churn? And he told, churn the ocean. Which ocean to churn? The first is, do not delay. In the Upanishad it says, Yachet abedit atasatyamasti, nachet abedit mahati binasti. Here and now, in this human form, if you are not realizing God, it's a great loss. Shankaracharya also in his book, the Vivek Churamani, he is telling that Atmaha is a committing suicide, a human person who is not trying to understand God, his reality, his self, as if he is committing suicide. He got the body, he got the mind, he got the intellect, he got all the instructions, even then he is not trying. And Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, in the beginning of his instruction, which is recorded in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, he said, the God realization is the goal of human being. That you should do. And sometimes in his own way he is telling, when you are going to realize God, he is telling his devotees. When you are going to realize God, why don't you cry for God? You are doing so many things. Why not try to realize God? So that is the way they always cry. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going from house to house. Shankaracharya is traveling all over India. Swami Vivekananda is the first Hindu. He came all the way to America to spread the same Vedanta. And when he came to America, he was thinking that he will make an awareness about India. But after reaching over here, when he saw the people are suffering, they are having some wealth, but psychologically, mentally, spiritually, very poor. So he started telling them, Amritasya putraha, you are the children of the immortal bliss. Why you are thinking in this way? All positive. Why? Because this. So the Brahman, the Supreme, he is also asking, go and churn the ocean. Don't delay. Start arranging. What is the arrangement? First you have to go near the Shira Samudra. The Sanskrit word Shira Samudra means the ocean of milk. Why ocean of milk? Now, if we go to the spiritual meaning, other meaning, apparently ocean of milk. You will notice, even in the Christian tradition, in the Muslim tradition, they always speak about milk and honey. And always they say, the land of milk and honey. What is the milk and honey? Milk means where you get the best thing. And sweet also, some honey. Here also say, the Shira Samudra. And what is that? You know that ocean? You are carrying, we are all carrying that ocean, our own mind. That is the Shira Samudra. It says in that way, but if you can understand, it is actually our own mind. It's a wonderful thing. We do not know. So many things are there in our mind. So he is telling this. And then first instruction is, mix some very useful shrubs, creepers and medicinal plants. Apparently, when we are reading this, what we feel? That we should mix some creepers and all that, mostly. And spiritually, if you go to the further meaning, you have to first practice Shama, Dhamma, Upurati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan, all. Before sitting for the meditation, this is the process of meditation actually. In the Bhagavata, there's a meditation there God is teaching us. The first, your mind, go to the mind. And then you see the Shira Samudra. That is a beautiful thing. Very costly, very precious. Shankaracharya is telling the human birth is very precious. Don't waste it. And what is the human birth? This body? No, the mind. Why? Because the mind can cognize, mind can think, mind can assimilate ideas. The Shira Samudra, very, very wonderful thing, very costly. And then add into that Shama, Dhamma, Upurati, Tritiksha, a different type of spiritual disciplines first in the beginning itself. And when you are putting that Shama, Dhamma, Upurati, I'm not going to explain that because in the Yoga Sutra and others you will find, and we have already discussed that, these disciplines when we are having, slowly the mind is becoming tranquil, the calm. And then we should start the churning. But how to churn? You know, those, many of you know, for the churning, the first you need a rod to churn the water. So rod, which will be the rod? Mandar Parvat, the Mount Meru should be. The firm decisions. It's not that mount, it's a firm decision like that. Huge and very firm decision. I am going to realize God here and now. And that is the Mount Meru. That using that, but to churn you need a rope. Who will be the rope? It says the yoga. And in the yoga, what is there? You know that at the bottom of our the spinal cord, the yogis, they say there is a power and it travels. That is the primal power. And that power travels like a snake. So the yoga is symbolized as snake. And in Hindu scriptures, anywhere you will find the description of the snakes. And they are giving the garland of snakes. And you will say, my God, what type of people they are. No, it is actually the power of the yoga. The Shiva, he is having all the body decorated with snake. The snake is the only symbol because that power travels like the snake. So that is the symbol. And that snake, the greatest of all snakes, Vasuki. Hindus, they believe the Vasuki is holding the whole earth. So that Vasuki, use that snake as the rope. And who will churn? We need, the small, the one person can do the left hand and right hand. Think in that way. One side the Ashuras and another side is the Devas. They were holding. Now again the story goes. The Devas are very intelligent. They first went and they were holding the side, the mouth of the Vasuki. Vasuki is having 1,000 mouths. And naturally the Devas, they were holding that. Ashuras, they saw why the Devas are going fast over there. Devas was ran over there to hold. Immediately the Asuras started doubting. That must be the best place to hold. So the Devas are going over there. Then the Bali came, the leader of the Asuras. Now we have to take the decision fast. We are the elder, so we should take the side of the mouth of the snake. Devas, they knew after some time the Vasuki will start vomiting fire. So they told, okay, since you are asking, okay, they went to the tail. So this is the buddhi, the story in that way, making it nicely. But these Devas and Asuras, those who are bad people, they are also meditating, they are also praying, they are also going to the temple, they are also offering. But they are actually receiving the burned, receiving not the blessings but the curses. That is the idea. They go, but go with the ego, ignorance. So the Asuras, the unfortunate, their mind is not clear, but the Devas, comparing with them, they are much, much better. So they were. Now the churning is beginning. But when you are churning, you need a very strong base. Otherwise the churning rod, where it will go? If it is soft, it will go on, down. So we need a very strong base. What will be the base? Then the God said, I will be the base. I will take the form of a tortoise. On the hard back of the tortoise, you can keep the hill, and then you can churn. See, everything very so wonderfully described. But that means you have to keep the God as the base. Before meditation, if you have taken the initiation, what the Guru says, have faith in God, pray to God. Oh God, please come and reside in my heart. I am going to worship you. I am going to pray. I am going to meditate on you. The base is the God. The first, the Supreme Lord, took the form of the huge tortoise as if, and then that was the base. Friends, this is the spiritual meaning of the Samudra Mantana. But the beginning, the Supreme God is giving that caution to each and every one. Na bhetavyam kalakutat jaladi sambhavat. First thing, they are instructing, O Devas, when the ocean is churned, Kalakuta, the poison will come out. But don't be afraid of it. Then many is going on, many objects will come out. You should not have any destruction and distraction for them. Don't feel angry if you are prevented to have them. Then lobha karyo nabo jatu roshaha kamastu vastushuhu, and different type of things go on coming. Most of the people, when they come to us, they always say, can you teach me meditation? And I always ask, what is your goal? Why do you like to learn meditation? Not that to control the mind or to develop the spiritual, not like that, some supernatural power. Is it true that by meditation we can get supernatural power? True, of course. See here, the Supreme God is also giving that caution. But the first thing will come when you are meditating. Just try 1 month. You will see your family members will also start respecting you. And your friends will also say, in the beginning they will, some jokes they will make, and then afterwards they will start respecting you, accepting you as a different person. Oh, he is a little different type of person. He is a holy person. When you go to somebody's house, when you visit, for the others they say, hey, come through garage door. And for the me, you'll say, no, Swamiji, you should come. I was also entering from the garage. No, you should come from the front door. And most of the time, there will be the ladies, the first time they go, and they will be showing the light, doing the arati, and then they will allow me to enter. And most of the time, they will be looking at my feet, which that right or left leg I am putting in. They always expect that right leg should be fast. You know, all these thoughts. Why? Why me? Because they think that I am praying to God. That's why. And what will happen to me then? I am an ordinary person going to somebody's house. They are forcing me to sit, and they will wash my feet and they will do worship. Can you imagine? Naturally, the first thing will come what? Hala. The tremendous poison, and that is ego. I am superior, I am holier than thou. That is the first thing will come. Those who are trying to practice meditation a little, majority of them, they are having this poison. And that destroys them. So the Supreme God is giving that caution to Devas and Asuras, of course, but Asuras will never listen. They're full of ego. Oh, okay, I will see. I know. But the Devas are listening, and the God is very cautious to guide them, and He is telling this. When we joined in the Ramakrishna order, many of the monks, the one thing happened in, I think, 1993. The Belur Ramakrishna Mission headquarters, they were celebrating 100 years of the Parliament of Religion, where Swami Vivekananda delivered the historical lecture. So there in Calcutta, there's a huge place called Netaji Shuvas Auditorium. Nearly 15,000 people, they come over there. That's the biggest place. Now maybe more bigger places have come. That was the biggest that time. So I was the last speaker on behalf of the Ramakrishna Mission. There are all great scholars were there, and almost all the university vice chancellors, they all came, and all. I was the last person. By Mother's grace, that lecture was unique. It was 15 minutes lecture, but it was very good. And I came down, all people were greeting and all these things. When I came down, I wanted to go and touch the feet of the Swamis. And the last President Maharaj, he was there. Atmostanandaji, many of you know him. And other Swamis were telling, oh, good. But the moment I touched his feet, he said, you have a cap like the Muslim, and singing the Rabindranath. I sang one line from the Rabindranath. আমার হিয়ার মাঝে লুকিয়েছিলে দেখতে তোমায় পাই না, you are hidden within my heart, I couldn't find it. So that because I will forget the line, so I sang. And by singing one line song and putting a cap like the Muslim, you are coming like this. I don't know. I am very humble. He said, when you are going back to Andaman, I was that time posted in Andaman. When you are going back to Andaman, I told him 7-10 days. No, tomorrow you should leave. First thing he said. And then where he was staying, I told him Ramakrishna Mission Gold Park. Gold Park is a very developed cultural place. So many people, they come to meet the Swamis and they're very free also. But Advaita Ashram, nobody knows where it is. In a very small, narrow lane. So he said, go to Advaita Ashram, stay there, and tomorrow try to leave. Not only that, call me over phone and confirm me that you are leaving tomorrow. All of my friends, they were telling, why Swamiji is telling like this? Then I told, actually he is trying to help me. The young monk, if you get the 15-20,000 people and all the Swamis are sitting, Matajis, all the nuns are also sitting, and all they are clapping. Every 5 minutes the people are getting up and then clapping. Then naturally the ego may come. Maharaj saved me from that. So that God, Supreme God, He is also giving the caution to these people. Another incident I must tell you. One young Swami, he is a very good scholar and speaker also in Bengali. So he went to one ashrama, I also accompanied him after the talk. As usually we stand and greet the people. He was standing there, all the devotees are coming, touching his feet, and then each and everyone is saying, Swamiji, you spoke so well, so well. And he was feeling good. Then the very old Swami, the in charge of this place, he was standing by his side and he was observing his face. Then after some time he said, don't think they are telling you only. They tell to all the speakers, whoever comes. So don't take it so seriously. So for the monks, for the spiritual people who are trying to develop the spiritual strength, this is the most great problem. So God is telling, and then different bastu. What are the bastu? You know that those who have read, so many things will come one after another. But one must be very, very capable and prayerful to overcome that. In this humble life, I have seen the Prime Minister of India, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, in the Andaman, when I invited him, on the open, that so many thousands of people were there attending the program, he touched my feet. And he was a very, very humble person and very learned person. And he was telling, don't say the glory to Atal Bihari, say glory to Swamiji. Atal Bihari will pass away, nobody will remember. But the Swamiji's ideology will remain. So that is the way. So many different things come. But if you think, we are so many, I was having I'm telling myself because I know that, some of the Supreme Court judges of India, they were so close to me. And the last President of India, he was also known to me. And we think, I will just pick up the phone and I can talk to. And in the northeast area where I was, I could directly talk to the Chief Minister of the Arunachal Pradesh. And any ministers, what is that? So that's why when we are reading, I'm telling you friends from my own experience, don't think that I'm a great monk or the great soul, but that happened. And it always happened to everyone. Whoever is trying to realize God, the first thing will come the ego, and along with the ego, all different type of things will come, that you get the name, fame, this, that, and God is telling, you have to control kamastu vastushu. All the different objects of desires will come, and Devas and Asuras were trying their best. Still, they were not successful. Then the Supreme Lord held the rope and started churning. When you are trying to meditate, you are praying, you are crying, and sometimes the frustration will come. The why I am trying so much, but my mind is not calm, it is not becoming pure, I am not reaching anywhere. Know it for sure, the God will come to help you. Only thing we have to have, that is the patience. That's all. And it takes, you say, if you take one step towards God, then what? 10 steps. The God will take 10 steps towards you. Now, this halahala came ultimately when they were churning. The first thing, halahala. The name of the particular poison was halahala. And then what will happen? All people were in great difficulty. Then they went to Shiva, Lord Shiva. Friends, time is very short. I will conclude in this way. When they went to the Lord Shiva, if you read the 8th the Skanda and 7th chapter, 21 to 35, the words that Prajapatis, they were to propitiate the Shiva, they were reciting what they were telling. Again, the same Hindus, they are explaining in the same way as they were explaining to the Supreme Lord. The Shiva is also the same. O Lord of Lords, Devadi Deva, save us from this poison. Then you are all pervading. Tvam Brahma. They are addressing the Shiva. But again they are telling, you are the Brahman, Tvam Brahma. When you desire to create, preserve, and dissolve, you assume your power of Maya with its threefold aspect of Sattva, Raja and Tama, and you become known as Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. The same power in 3 different names. Swami Vivekananda, in the beautiful stotra he wrote, Sri Shiva Stotram, he has mentioned Parahita Karanaya Prana Pracheda Pritam Natanayana Nijuktam Neelakantam Namamaha. He is telling Parahita Karanaya, for the good of the many. Prana Pracheda Pritam, happily you give your life, you are ready to sacrifice your life. Natanayana Nijuktam, those who are humble and devoted, you are all the time blessing them. And Swami Vivekananda is addressing the Shiva as Neelakantam Namama. I offer my salutation to you, the Neelakanta. Shiva is also known as the Neelakanta. Why? The story again, Bhagavata story. It's so interesting. And if you start reading Bhagavata, the stories, it will be very difficult for you to close the book. Page after page you have to complete. And here it says the Shiva was meditating, then the Shiva opened his eyes and said, I must go. And the Parvati, she was worried. Why Shiva? Is there no other people? Why we have to come to my husband? So she also was accompanying Shiva, but Shiva won't listen. No, don't worry, I have to go. And I am dedicated for that. The people are suffering. I cannot sit here. So they went. And he took all the poison in his hand and he drank. Shiva. But the story says, Parvati immediately hold the throat so that the poison should not enter into the body. So all the poison in the green color, it stayed in the throat, so the Neelakanta, it became. But actually what? Yoga. It consumed everything, but never mix up anything. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, like a Paramahamsa. What is the Paramahamsa? The great swan. He is inside the water, going down inside the water and taking deep and floating, but not a drop of water when it gets up. The same way, the yogi should do everything, but the ahamkara, the poison, should not disturb his personality or soul. It should be in the kanta, there itself. So this is the way, the great churning, and one after another things started coming. And there's a description, then in one place it says, Lakshmi also came out of that. The Lakshmi, the Rama, she also came out of that churning. When we are meditating, then the wealth also comes, the offer of wealth, a lot of things started coming, the wealth also comes. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's life, we know. At that time, a very rich man came from Calcutta and he offered him 10,000 rupees. And Sri Ramakrishna, as if he was bitten by the scorpion, he stood up and said, "No, I cannot take it, go away from here." Then he started thinking, Acha, mother is there, Ma Sharada Muni Devi, she used to live in a separate building. Acha, to test her, Sri Ramakrishna sent that man, go, there is a lady, you can offer this money to her. His wife, his consort. But when this man went, mother also refused, no, I won't take that. Because whatever money I get, I take, I use that for the service of the master. As the master is not accepting, I won't take. So that the way, all the time, lot of money comes. The Lakshmi. But one should be very, very careful. Very, very careful. If you look at the balance sheet of the Belur Math, the Ramakrishna Mission, is a small organization comparing with others. But Belur Math, they will be giving each and every thing in accounts. There will be, or many others, they don't. I don't know why. But they are doing like that. Belur Math, and there's a huge amount. But if you go and you'll see, majority of the Swamis are not having good shoes. And one or two clothes they will be washing and cleaning, and they'll be, but all the time they'll be wearing it very nicely, they'll look good and very clean that way. Personally, nothing. But in the organization, lot of money, because for the work. We are maintaining a few million students. We are at the Ramakrishna Mission, feeding, giving education, the orphan children, and so many ways, you know, the activities of the Ramakrishna Mission. The money will come, rich people will come, but one should be very, very careful about that. If not, that poison will kill you. So that is the first thing. The churning of the ocean means is this: Lakshmi will come. Lakshmi means the wealth, name, fame, prosperity. The two, they were discussing and standing in the high place. They saw the wealth is entering into the church. Then one, he told the other, they are all monks, look at this brother, our founder, the Jesus, he was not having a small heart also. And now we are having so much wealth. And he commented, wealth is entering and the spirituality is going out. And it always happens. So one must be very, very careful. And that is exactly the meaning of churning of the ocean, samudra manthan. Our mind is that ocean, and determination is that hill, the churning rod. And our yoga is the rope. And the bad tendencies, the Ashuras, and the good tendencies. When you are meditating, the mind will go to the bad thinking and mind will go to the good thinking. It goes on churning and you are tired after that. After the meditation, oh my God, so this is meditation. And constantly mind will go this and that. But the teachers, they always say, don't bother about when the mind is going down. Try to pull it up. So the Ashuras and the Suras of the Devatas, they are constantly churning, and the result of the churning very quickly will come is the Venam. And if you can somehow with the grace of God save yourself, because you are having the tremendous faith, on the existence of God, who is sitting within your heart, that Shira Samudra as a tortoise, and then overcome that, one after another, different type of offerings will come to you. And finally, one person will come, and who will bring the small vessel full of the amrit, the nectar. Who is that person? It says that one who became the doctor of the devas. Why? Through his hand, through Lakshmi it could be, no, through that who was the doctor of the devas, he brought that. But Asuras, then the story again, Ashura snatched it, and then the supreme God took the Mohini form and deluded the Asuras, gave it to the devatas, and the devatas they drank. One Ashura, he dressed like a devatas, came and sat in the line of the devatas, and he drank, and it went up to this throat. Immediately the Vishnu could understand, he is not devata, he is Ashura, is a bad mind, and they immediately cut the throat, and that constantly, because the Chandra, the god Chandra, noticed that and pointed to that. So he goes on, this all story goes, and going on trying to kill the Chandra, and every time the eclipse will come, it will go and eat the Chandra, but the Chandra will come out of that. These are all stories they go. But actually, the bad people cannot take it and digest it. Why? Because they are always deluded with so many things. The Mohini is nothing but the delusion. So ultimately, after this churning, when we get that Amrit, two different things come. One, our physically we become very, very, as Swami Vivekananda is telling, if you are practicing, your voice will be very good, your look will be very good, your personality will be charming. So that, as a symbol, the person who was carrying, he was a doctor, he was a medicinal person. So as if all this physical thing, Sri Ramakrishna, when he was practicing the austerity, his body became so lustrous, like the gold. Then all people used to come to see that, see him all the time. Then he prayed to the Divine Mother, put all these things within my heart. I don't like to show it. Swami Vivekananda was also having some problem because of this, his personality and the beauty of the body. Ma Sharadamani all the time covered her body. So these things always happen. But ultimately, what is that Amrit? What is that nectar? The nectar is satisfaction. Complete satisfaction. For that is the way, the satisfaction is the Amrit. What I am going to gain all this outside? The satisfaction comes from inside. Why? I have realized that I am not this body, mind, and I don't belong to this world. I don't need anything of this world. So there is no desire. And when there is no desire, your mind is very calm. But because desires, that makes the waves inside the mind. And all the time pleasure and pain goes hand in hand. When there is no desire, completely out of that, your mind is calm. You are living in this world, mixing with people, seeing everything, but not affected by anything. That is called Jivan Mukta Avastha. While living, enjoying everything, but not attached to anything. That is Jivana Mukti. And that is the Amrit. Wonderful peace, happiness, tranquility, and fearlessness. In different way, different words in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Upanishads, this has been explained, but we can say quoting Mother Ma Sharadamani Devi, if you don't have desire, you realize God here and now, this moment. If you don't have desire, that means the complete desire free. Again she said, if you want peace of mind, my daughter, the peace of mind is the ultimate goal. That is happiness. So what is Amrit? Is the happiness. How to achieve it? Two. First, in the faith of God and my self-effort. And when I am going to receive it? I am going to receive it in this very life itself. That should be the determination. So let us offer our pranam to the Supreme God, who is meditated by the different sages. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Stunnanti Divyaistavai Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadai Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogina Yasyantam Nabidu Sura Asura Gana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. So it's an announcement. One is this 2019 calendar. We are having only 10 pieces, 10 calendars are there. So this time, every year we take a theme, and on that we prepare the calendar. Though the dates are there, but the mainly different information you will find. You can preserve it. This time we have taken 125th year of Swami Vivekananda's historical lecture in the Parliamentary Religion. So how many talks Swamiji gave, when he gave, who helped him, all these details are here. So you can procure one from our bookstore. And this is the one I was talking about, the Chicago Calling. And this Chicago Calling is our e-zine, electronic magazine. We give different type of articles over here. And this time, this picture is in the fire Sri Ramakrishna. Why? When we do the worship and the fire that we lit in the name of Sri Ramakrishna. The one, Brahmacharini, she has explained very wonderful way, quoting from the words of Sri Ramakrishna, why Sri Ramakrishna is the fire. You can go through this one. And this is, if you want to listen very bad songs without any proper music, this one is there. I don't know. I used to sing from over here and someone recorded and sent it to Calcutta, and the Calcutta people, those who have not seen me and I have also not seen them, put the music at the back of the songs, but they're all Bengali devotional songs. And usually I sing in the temple. It is the 25 songs are there. You can try. And please have the prasad and say with me, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om. Om. I never thought that I will learn singing. You know, in my family, the people used to sing, the brothers, sisters, and I used to all the time criticize them. Why you are sitting like this and singing, disturbing all the neighbors? I never liked it. I was little boyish type, like horse riding and the shooting practices and rowing, all those things, boxing. These were all my sports. And now my record, my song's record is sailing. I don't know if they come to know what they will think. Because when you become a monk, the best thing is the songs. Because you cannot all the time meditate. So you have to take the help of the songs to express your prayer to God. So I just did that. So that much. I am not a singer at all. So don't think I am selling it. If you like, you can pick up. Nothing else.